When you say Vegas, you're saying love. You're saying diamond rings and all the things that little girls dream of.
Welcome to the 5th episode of Wedding Crasher. My name is Brynn O'Malley. I play the roles of Betsy Nolan and Donna Corman in a musical that is running on Broadway right now called Honeymoon in Vegas, written by Andrew Bergman and the one and only Jason Robert Brown. This episode, we feature an amazing interview with the man himself. What else can I tell you? Come see our show. We're in previews right now. This week, we are covering our first week of previews, parade rehearsal. I asked you guys to send in questions for some other people in our show, and we got an amazing question for Brendan Stimson, one of our amazing swings, who was just in Newsies. What else can I tell you? Tweet me questions for myself, for other cast members. At the end of this episode, I will reveal who our final interview is with on next week's episode and who you can tweet questions for. If you pay attention to the questions I'm going to answer myself here in a moment, there's a clue. See if you can figure it out during the course of the episode. Spelling time! Hashtag Wedding Crasher at BRYNNOMALLEY at BroadwayCom at Honeymoon Bway. I think that's everything. Oh, also check out at Honeymoon Cast, Instagram and Twitter account for the cast of Honeymoon in Vegas, where we're sort of compiling our best photos and tweets and whatnot on those accounts if you want to keep up with all the zany antics. Caroline at Caroline973-12370. I love your vlog. Oh my god. Thanks, Caroline. What's your dream role to play on stage, and what would be your dream male role? Great question. I don't know. I don't know if I have one dream role. I guess I would really love to play Mama Rose someday and Mrs. Lovett someday. Anybody in A Little Night Music. Anybody. Dream male role. Probably the Music Man, right? Maybe Sweeney Todd, but I think the Music Man. I think that's kind of my dream male role. I've been off book for like 18 years. No big deal. I'm ready to go whenever you guys want to put me in. Okay, Michael Haber at Broadway Mike 92. Loved you in Avenue Q, Las Vegas. Holy crap, Michael Haber. Thank you. I can't believe you saw that. Thanks. What was the experience actually like having lived there for that show? I say it was really fun for like the first 3 weeks, but I always say it's kind of like if you were doing a show on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and every day was Mardi Gras. Like, it was really fun for 3 weeks, and then it was like, you just feel like all you do is claw drunk people out of the way to get to your job. And I think the novelty sort of wears off after a while. And then Michael also had a follow-up question, which was, and which puppet was your favorite to portray, Kate or Lucy? Gosh, I think in the show I liked doing Lucy the most, just because over time she becomes the most challenging because she's a two-rod puppet, and I just think there's more ways to play and get creative, and I had a lot more to learn and experience with that puppet. But as far as for like press events, I always would rather use Kate, because when you use Lucy for press events, you can't even say her full name on most news networks. And also like the way that she was written, her language is a lot of double entendre. And I found that was sort of hard when you're trying to improvise in an interview to try to keep coming up with like double entendre jokes or jokes that are sort of sexual, but you could say on like 8 a.m. morning shows. So I would always rather do press stuff with Kate, but I loved playing with Lucy on stage. I think the most, but pretty much equal. I have a fond place in my heart for both of them puppets. Nicole Savage, N Savage, 1988. I know what year you were born. Nicole says, love your vlog. Oh, damn. Thanks, Nicole. If Betsy could give relationship advice to your past characters, what would she say to them? I love this question. I haven't thought about it too much, so I'm just going to answer it on the fly. If Betsy could give relationship advice to George Merrick, holding the longest note in the history of Broadway, Betsy could say to them, I need to go on stage. I'm going to think about this question. When I come back, I'm going to answer it. Okay, I feel like if Betsy were to give relationship advice to Belle in Beauty and the Beast, she would say, stick with him. He's a keeper. He'll take care of you. He's a prince. Let's see. Next one, Amber. Amber and Hairspray. I feel like Betsy wouldn't even get around to Link Larkin. I feel like she would just really focus on Amber, and she would tell her to like study more in school and like make sure she goes to college and like develop some sort of brain and like half a personality. Maybe stop taking dance classes. They're a waste of your time. If she could talk to... Oh boy. Well, let's see. I was gonna do Sending the Park with George, but maybe I'll do, since I just did Dot, I feel like she would tell Dot to get the hell out of there. I think she would have like dragged Dot away from George like before Color and Light, like in the first scene. She'd just be like, get out of here. You're gonna get knocked up. Get out while you still can. I feel like if she were to give relationship advice to Nessa Rose, she'd be like, stick with the Munchkin. Stick with the Munchkin. He's the guy for you. Am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Oh, Grace Farrell. Clearly, Warbucks. She saw it coming a mile away. I mean, I think Betsy would definitely be on board with Warbucks. Again, he's a man who makes decisions. He's decisive, and that, once again, I'm using a prop that I don't need to use. Decisive, a man that makes decisions, unlike Jack Singer in Honeymoon in Vegas. Ooh. I hope that answers your question. That was a really great question, Nicole. Thank you so much. Is there anything else I have to tell you? Send me your questions. I also would like to acknowledge that I wear self-tanner in the show because I wear a lot of bathing suits, and Nancy Opal was like, go get a spray tan, don't embarrass yourself. So I went and I've been doing self-tanner, and last night I did it, and then I went and loaded the dishwasher and forgot about my hands, and so most of my body is the color of like a chicken nugget, like a well-cooked chicken nugget, and my fingers are white, very white. So that's embarrassing. Okay, enjoy this episode. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please come and see our show. It's so good. You're gonna have the best time. People are loving it. And I love you. Bye. Hey you guys, so it's our day off. It's Monday, but it's not really our day off because Brianna at BWayLover1313, my lucky number, asks, is Honeymoon in Vegas going to perform at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? And the answer is yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. We are performing at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, and tonight we have camera blocking rehearsal at Macy's. So I'm gonna take you there, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of our rehearsal. Hey, cast of Honeymoon in Vegas! Are you ready to rehearse for the parade?
Here is star Tony Danza and the cast of Honeymoon in Vegas. Track.
When you say Vegas, you're saying love, you're saying diamond rings, and all the things that little girls dream of. You're hearing bells go ring, ding, ding, for me and you. In Las Vegas, the land where dreams come true. When you say Vegas, you're saying yes. You're telling Broadway shows, designer clothes, and wow, baby, that's quite a dress. Only suckers go to Foxwoods, get a clue, and come to Vegas. The land where dreams come true. Find the machine and start yanking that leather. Get that leather. Dreams are swell. You'll be lucky boy. Flash some cats and a front row seat. It's a night that you won't forget. You might be in the desert, kid, but a girl can still get rock and jumping. Hey, when you say Vegas.
Hello everyone. I'm sitting here with the one and only Jason Robert Brown. I'm just gonna applaud till it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Is it already uncomfortable?
I'm uncomfortable because I'm still thinking about Bill Cosby. I'm very upset about the whole thing.
Right before we started recording, he cracked a Bill Cosby joke and made himself very uncomfortable. All right, we're gonna get right to it.
How do I look? Do I look good?
What do you think? You can see yourself.
Oh.
Judge yourself.
It's a severe part. I feel like this is a very severe...
All right. So several people asked sort of a similar question. Bailey, I can't even pronounce her name. Bailee something. Okay. Bales
Now I know why
asked,
this is so boring. What?
Yes.
What was it?
How was writing music for Honeymoon in Vegas different than your other projects since it's a musical comedy? Chase Halen asked, how is writing a drama like Bridges different from writing a comedy like Vegas? George Chalada, I think that's how you say his name. Can you ask Jason if it's harder to write a musical from scratch or having an outline like Honeymoon Broadway? So, in that realm, can you speak to that, like the difference between, you know what I mean.
Okay, so you write a show, and if you're the music writer, which composer would be the English word for that, then you're building a world. That's your job, is to build the world. And so the music has to fill that world, and the music has to describe the world. And you can tell the minute that the music doesn't fit the world, and you say, oh no, I can't use that piece of music. I have to use this. So Bridges of Madison County, you know what the worlds are going to be, because you say, oh right, there's this Italian woman, and then there's this town in Iowa, and then there's this wandering guy, and you know that there's sort of, it's a romantic world, and it's a beautiful world. In this, you know that it is neurotic, crazy people in New York and in Las Vegas and in Hawaii, and so you have to build a world of neurotic, crazy people so that everything they do fits into that world. So it's not that it's harder writing comedy than it is writing Bridges of Madison County, for sure. Comedy's infinitely harder and just miserable. But
You're also catching us on a great day.
but outside of having to write the funny parts, the music part is not harder. It's just different. But it's not. There's not a. Come on.
I got it.
I'm sorry. I'm
Makes
sorry to all
sense.
of you people who asked lovely questions. I'm cranky.
No, that's great.
No, I'm cranky.
Let's. I'm gonna give you an easy one. Sierra Sturt had lots of good questions for you.
Yes. Hi, Sierra.
I just like this one for kicks. Describe Kelly O'Hara in 5 words.
Kelly O'Hara in 5 words. Wait, I want to pick the right 5 words.
great.
This is what happens when you put me on the spot.
This is why I said, do you like superlatives? Those are hard when you have to be put on the spot.
No,
like that.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Kelly O'Hara in 5 words. Cruel, unattractive, untalented, overpraised, lovely.
Boom. Annika Grace, are you working on any new projects?
Is this not a project? What are we doing? This is a project. I'm working on a project.
I was just curious about this one. Jenna Stephanie
Hi,
asks,
Jenna.
do you have any Easter eggs or references to previous shows hidden in any of your lyrics?
Not in my lyrics, no. I have it in the music. In the first 5 shows I wrote, there was a motive, a boo-doo-doo-doo-doo, that showed up, and I made sure to put it in all of the shows. And then I ended up, it's in 13, and I didn't even know I had put it in 13, and then after 13 I stopped doing it. It was like the Hitchcock showing up in all his movies, and I was doing it, and then I forgot to do it for Bridges, and then by this time, now it's over. That was a long time ago. Oh, that was many years ago. I doubt if anyone would know. You having trouble reading?
BJS fan?
What?
BJS fan.
No, it's a BJ's fan. It's someone who likes getting BJ's.
I think you're completely right. Hi, Mom. All right, which song from Honeymoon in Vegas did you have the idea for first?
Which song from Honeymoon in Vegas did I have the idea for first? Well, I think Andy had all the ideas, but the first 3 songs I wrote are still in the show. When You Say Vegas and Out of the Sun, and I guess there was an early version of Never Get Married that got out of there. And then Anywhere But Here is the next thing I wrote after that. So I guess of the first 4 songs, 3 of them are still there. But When You Say Vegas was, when someone said, I want to make a musical of Honeymoon in Vegas, what I heard in my head was When You Say Vegas. That's the sort of, I thought, it's got to sound like this. So that, yes.
Right.
That's the answer.
2 similar questions. Gregory T.
terrible
Grimes,
question today.
if you're
Awful.
wonderful. If you could adapt any film, novel, or theme into a musical of your choosing, what would it be and why? And Hannah Moore is similarly asked, your past 2 Broadway shows have been based on movies. Which movie would you love to write a score for? So feel free to answer either question.
I don't know how to answer any of these questions. Someone bring me a check and I'll write something for you. I don't care.
It's a perfectly acceptable
No, it's
question.
not. It's a great question. I'm a bad person. I'm a. Oh.
You're not a bad person, Jason.
I am.
Thank you for writing the bridges of Madison County.
What
on behalf
does
of
this
all of us. It's a
do?
very hot flat iron. Please don't hurt yourself. Please don't injure your fingers.
Like
Shutting
the
it
flat
off.
iron building? I don't. What is?
Do you need props to get through this? I feel like you're okay. Sierra Sturt asks, "What's your biggest joy in the world?" Let's focus on that for a second.
Did Sierra write all the questions?
She wrote a lot of questions, and I liked them, so I kept 3 of them.
What is my biggest joy in the world? I think.
Other than this interview.
I think it has something to do with making music with my daughters or enjoying music with my daughters, just interacting musically with my children. That probably is it.
I like that answer. Jenna Rich, daughter of Bob and Mindy.
Oh, is it?
Our dear friends.
Hi, Jenna.
I love this question. Sting might join The Last Ship, so Jason, if you could play a role in one of your shows, what would it be?
I'm looking for. I'm going to do the national tour of Bridges as Francesca, and I think that'll be a wonderful
You're gonna be
opportunity
so
for me to
great.
explore, really from the inside, and to show people a side of that character I don't think they really
You're going to be very vulnerable.
knew. Vulnerable.
Yeah, and show off that soprano range of yours.
Well, also the naked scene.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great in the bathtub.
Yeah.
It's really gonna. I'll show you what that looks like right now.
Thank you. Ashley Lopez and Caleb Cabinus asked similar questions. What's your favorite theater song? Sorry, you can't include one of your own. Caleb asked if you could have been the writer of any song already in existence, which would it be? So either question. Do you have a favorite theater song or one you wished you had written?
Well, it depends on why I wished I had written it. I mean, I wish I wrote "Let It Go," but that's a whole different story.
That's a great answer.
But my favorite theater song in existence, it's probably still "Something's Coming." "Something's Coming" is pretty. That's pretty good.
And then this is, oh, actually, let me do this one. What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? Another Sierra question.
Sierra, can you please
They're
leave some room for
creative.
some other people?
I liked them.
What's the best piece of advice I've ever gotten? The best piece of advice I've ever gotten. I used to when I was on stage. I didn't. This is when I was an actor, but I used to have these half gestures that I would start doing, and then I just drop my hand. So I'd be like, and then I just drop. And somebody said, "Stop doing all the half gestures," and I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And so while I was in the middle of a performance, this director actually yelled out in the middle of the performance, "There, right there, that's it. You're doing it now." And it was true, and I needed someone to tell me there, right there, that I was doing it then, because it was before you could sort of videotape and things like that.
Right.
And so that was very valuable to recognize that there are things that you're doing that you simply are not conscious of doing, and that you have to be brought into the moment of doing it. You have to be made aware that the thing is happening. You can't just talk your way through every problem. Sometimes you have to experience yourself in the moment of doing a thing.
Right there, you're answering questions really well in this interview. Just wanted to point that out. In the moment. So, several people, George, Chase, Bales, no, that's a different question. Thomas, Joe, Ashley, all asked, they want to know, like, what is a typical composing day like for you? They kind of just want to know, like, what your process is, or is there anything typical to it, or, like, what's your day like when you're writing a show, or...
I get up, I take my kids to school, I come back home, I take a nap.
what time do they go to school?
Well, we have to get up at 6, and so their school starts at 7:30. So I take a nap, and then I get up, and then I'll sit on Facebook until lunch. I'll go to lunch. I'll have an extravagant, very long lunch. I'll come back from lunch. I'll have to answer a bunch of emails. The girls will get home. I'll have to do the piano practicing with them, and then it's usually dinner time, and we all will eat something together. Then the girls go to sleep, and I'm exhausted and totally just fried from that day, and so I will sit on Facebook until I go to bed.
Thank you. That's exactly what I thought. Rosie Creeder and Danielle Belle-Isle, Tony Danza and I figured out how to pronounce your name. It only took us 10 minutes. Similar questions. They just want to know who is like your mentor and or who's your inspiration musically, composing wise.
Do you know that 2 days ago I got an email from a woman and she said, I have a feeling you knew my mom, but my son is a huge musical theater fan, and I mentioned him that I thought his grandma Pat might have known you, and he freaked out. Is it true? And his grandma Pat was my music teacher in high school, Pat McDowell, who was responsible for me becoming a musician, who is like the sort of the single most formative influence in my entire musical life. that would be my mentor, because she just gave me room to be a musician, and she made it seem like it would be a cool thing to do, and she encouraged me, and she did it not in some sort of grandstandy way, but just as sort of a matter of course. Of course, you're a musician, you go do this, and that's my mentor. And it's so weird that her daughter wrote to me. Pat died, I guess, 6-7 years ago, something like that. And I had met her daughters a couple of times, but I was just in high school then, so I didn't really know them, and they don't really know me. And just to have gotten that letter now was really, it was a message from the beyond. I was very grateful for it.
Oh, that's a great story. Ready? Last one. Luke Vincentini wants to know, what's your favorite kind of pizza?
Luke. I've spent 2 summers of my life in a town called Spoleto in Umbria, in Italy. And there is all the pizza in Spoleto is ridiculous. It's a pizza in Italy. It's the perfect pizza. But what I like, they have, I get a little salsiccia, a little sausage on there, and some fresh basilicos, and you just get that basil and the sausage and that's all you need. You don't need that stuff. You just need fresh and delicious and right out of the oven, and you cut it and you eat it, and life is good. And what is with the pineapple? What is with you people and the pineapple on the pizza? Why would you do that? Why? Why?
I think we have Hawaii to blame
Why?
for that, don't we?
Why?
I think we're good. You want to say hi to my mom?
Hi, Mom. I'm sorry
Denise.
I cursed.
No, she loves it. She's fine.
Sorry.
She loves Bridges. She loves Honeymoon in Vegas.
Well, that's good. I love those shows also.
Thanks for the questions, guys.
Yeah.
Brendan Stimson, hello!
Hello!
Former newsie,
That's correct.
now a honeymooner.
A honeymooner.
Although that show might be coming to Broadway, so we should probably say you're a honeymoon in Vegaser.
Vegaser.
So, Brendan, Jennifer Rubin at JenRubin10 asks, will you ask at Bren Stims, BRENSTIMS, some questions about transitioning from Newsies to Honeymoon Broadway in the Newlander? What's the transition been like for you? Is it a little weird?
It's been a little surreal, for sure. It's mostly the same crew guys, so I get to hang with them all the time. But I'm in one more level up. I'm actually with all where the Newsies were, because the male ensemble's all the way up. I used to only have to go 4 flights, now I have to go 5.
Oh, that's fun for you.
But my spot is being well taken care of by the female ensembles. I'm sure it's much
Amazing.
more, done up than my station, which was just like crap thrown everywhere.
Which room's better, the current male dressing room for Honeymoon in Vegas or the current female dressing room for Honeymoon in Vegas?
Current male. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
just
think
gotta
so?
go with my fellas. I mean, me and Barry Busby was the other swing.
Yeah.
We just have an entire wall, and we're just,
Oh, that's
it's a
downright
pad up
luxurious.
there. It's amazing.
Is it strange to see a different show on the stage?
It's a little weird when I first walked in. I mean, not to see like the giant newsy towers, but to see like Vegas done up, and to have like palm trees instead of like papers, which is a big difference. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's good to be home again with, with a new group.
How long were you in Newsies?
Start to finish.
You were start to finish?
Top and tail.
Well, holy crap, Brendan! Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm good.
You think you're gonna stay here at Honeymoon for the whole 12-year run?
Top and tail.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brendan, and thank you, Jennifer Rubin, for the question.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brendan.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Creeper. Another amazing week at Honeymoon in Vegas on Broadway, right? 1 week of previews, down, parade, next week, next episode, we will take you to the parade. Tweet me questions, watch the next episode, and now we are gonna travel outside of my dressing room, and I'm going to reveal to you who next week's interview is with. Our final interview with the one and only Steamer Boy!
Steamer! Call me Cleveland Steamer.
Oh, gross.
Is that gross? Oh, that's how the interview is going to go.
Uh-oh.
That's right. Tweet. Well, I can't handle this camera right now. There you go. Tweet
Want me all your
questions.
questions.
Here, Joe Berg's going to handle it. Tweet us your questions for
Plot of
Tony
Family.
nominee Rob McClure. Ask him anything about Chaplin, about Avenue Q, about his weird fashion choices off stage, about his steaming habits, about his strange obsession with Tony Danza.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza. Let's see if I was in the right key. Hold.